Um, well, at least you're here. So, what I was gonna cover today was stories because there's not a ton of content to do with stories, and I have to get out the door in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
So you're pretty good with stories, right? I see you on there
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. I listened to a Jatana Jackson call on like the 411 page.
Yeah.
It was really helpful. Like she talked about some different apps to download, like Hype Type, for like your workout videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, Hype Type is good. Triller is another one that's
Thriller?
super helpful. I like Jatana. She's got a lot of really good content. She's very on all the
Yes.
time.
She's not my style.
No, she's not mine either. She's not mine either. She, like, we had said something to her one day, and she's like, well, I just sleep with my lashes on, and I'm a back sleeper, so I sleep with my lashes and my makeup on. So when I get up in the morning, and I'm like, no, that's not my people. But the other thing is sometimes too much of that can be super counterproductive.
Okay.
So what we have sort of figured out between like Melissa McAllister, Amanda, myself, and then other trainings that we have watched with people who are serious, more influencers on social media, is just like simple tips. Like you don't want to have, like, I hate when there's people that have like 35 stories in their day. Like it's too much.
Okay.
It's too much. You don't want to sit through the whole thing. 8 to 12 stories a day is usually kind of where you want to be. Yeah, some days you'll have more, some days you'll have 4 or 5, but generally you don't really want to do more than that because people aren't going to keep flipping through them. Not too many of the same thing in a row. Like if you're trying to tell somebody's story, tell them like 3 or 4 little snippets. Mm-hmm. Don't stand there and talk for 15 stories in a row. Because, hi, can you go sit down? I'll be done in a few minutes, okay? Go sit down. People will flip through it. The same thing with your workouts. Like if you're gonna do like a workout move,
yeah,
or like a move and then like the cool down, or a move and like afterwards, like you don't want to have your whole workout in like 15-second clip. Because people aren't, and then they get annoyed, and then you see how many people swipe away.
Yeah.
Story. Make sure that you're always, like, I know we talked about it last week in doing it in your content photos, but especially in your stories, tag the brands. Because like whenever I tag Athleta or I tag Lorna Jane, they always comment back on my stories. They always comment back. Like even if it's just a heart or if it's like things for the so when they see people like that, like tagging them, the same people tagging them over and over and over again, now you've got, because we have this option of adding something to our own story when we're tagged in it, you've got more of a chance of them being like, hey, look, she just got her Nikes made, or things like that. Like there's more of a chance of them sort of sharing it into their own story as they post it. Like, yeah, using the mentions to tag people, using the hashtags, because then even as you like follow a hashtag, if you tag it and then like if you're following a hashtag and somebody tags it, when it comes up, like when the post would come up in your feed, now that hashtag will come up in your stories. So like if you're tagging like mom of free, like if you're tagging that, if you put that on your story, instead of just having it in your post where somebody who follows that hashtag will see it in their feed, now when they sign in to Instagram, if they are following that hashtag, that'll appear in their stories. So then they'll start to see you in other places. Obviously don't tell people the whole story. like we talk a lot about the workouts and like, but then not dropping the name, or like I didn't say in the last 4 days what workout I was doing, but I was talking about how sore I was. I was like, I tagged Joel and everything else, but I never said what the workout was. I have all these people that they're like, what are you doing? What was that workout? Why are you so sore? What are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Did you work out today? And I'm like, no, it's only 4 days a week. I don't have to work out. You know, and then you want stories, you want it to be like more of you, more relatable. Whereas like your feed, you want all like quality content. You want to think of your feed as like your A-roll, and then the stories as like B-roll footage. Like where like it doesn't matter if you've got no makeup on, it doesn't matter if the kids are kind of like everywhere in the background, because in 24 hours it's gone anyway. We were talking, Jen Richardson was talking about it, and she, you know, she'll share like over and over again about just what the business has done, like that it afforded you the chance to do this, or gave you the option to do that. And then once a week she'll do like a really hard call to action on her stories, and whether it's you know, clicking a link like to email you or to message you or to tag you, or if you have like the swipe feature, to swipe up to like fill out a form or email you or join a sneak peek, or something like that once a week. I probably will do a sneak peek like at the end of the month. I wanted to do it Monday, but just with all this craziness now, that's not going to happen.
Quick question about like what the business has done. Do we have to put like the Beachbody disclaimer on that, or no? Because I got an email from whatchamacallit, I forget. Basically, one of my posts on Facebook was saying, you know, I didn't put the right disclaimer. I had something like, you have to pay for, you know, or you work for what you get for. Yeah, compliance. So I just had to go back and like fix everything basically.
Yeah.
So now I'm like super nervous about like what if I
post.
It was a couple months ago, and it had something to do, I think it was maybe last month or 2 months ago, with my biggest paycheck of the year, you know. And I said something like, Beachbody doesn't guarantee this, you have to work for it, but it wasn't actual disclaimer, so they just had me go back. I mean, they were really cool about it.
So they're kind of finicky with it. So not fitting you, but it's sort of like a gray. If you're actually speaking about like, say like my paycheck or like a dollar amount, you've got to have like the real one.
Okay.
If you're making a post on social media and it's just about like, you know, it's giving you, you know, time with your kid. It's giving you the opportunity to do these things. It's helped, you know, with like dance lessons or shit like that. I just put at the bottom, like, obviously this isn't guaranteed. You have to work for it. On the story, they're gone in 24 hours. So I wouldn't worry about it. If you're making like an Instagram post, that's a different story. But if it's on a story, I wouldn't worry about it. I think that was it. Stories is kind of like, you have to be consistent with it. Like, that's the thing is, and then there are some days that like I realize I'm like, crap, I wasn't on here at all today. And it's like, you know, it's been crazy. Here's kind of what's gone on. And I'll talk for like 2 or 3 stories about like the craziness that's gone on. But as long as you're there and people keep seeing you in their feed, polls are great to get interaction with. I do that a lot. With To Be Mindset, it's kind of like, but I don't give them like a yes or no option. It's like definitely yes, and like maybe I want more information. So like somebody will click something, and then I'll go back and I'll just message them and I'll be like, hey, thanks for clicking on it. Like, I would love to chat with you. Do you have a minute, or do you have an email, or can I send you some information, or can I add you to like our sneak peek group so you can learn more about it? And the idea is to get them into finding out more information somehow, any way that you can, basically. I think that's it. There's not a lot on. I'll try to do this today instead of next week because there's not a ton on stories, but you're pretty consistent with them though. Like, I always see you.
Yeah. There are days when I should be more consistent. Like, I don't know that I put much on yesterday. Maybe I did about my new shoes and stuff like that. But I have to be more consistent. Like, I don't know. There are days where I'm tired or whatever. I just don't even think to to do it. So I need to be more consistent. But if I get my workout in, it's always Energize in the morning.
Right.
And then I usually do like 2 clips of my workout. And then I told you I'm working right now. You need to go. Okay. You know how to put it on. Go.
I can't. I don't know which button to put on.
All right. I'll be there in a minute.
Mom,
Go.
just tell me which button.
Go clean up your place.
This one.
This one. Push the top one.
This one?
Yeah.
Work every piece of technology until.
Yeah. It's like you don't want them to learn how to use all this stuff, but then you really need them to learn how to use all this
I
stuff.
woke up Maddie, like, we have an orthopedist that lives in the neighborhood, and he got Elena in at 7:30 this morning. So I woke up Maddie, and I'm like, I need you to sit with the baby for 15 minutes while I get on a call. And literally, like, 2 seconds before you signed on, she's like, Cheeky, let's go run down the hall. And I'm like, what? Did you know?
I just need 10 minutes.
Yeah, right?
Right.
But that's really it. Stories, there's not a ton to really sort of like train on. It's sort of being consistent with it. It's getting people engaged. And then the other thing is like, what I like to do is if I get a post in my feed that's getting a lot of traction, I'll go to like my page and I'll screenshot it and I'll like, fuzzy out the thing.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, and I'll write on it like, new post alert, like, go check out my feed. And like, especially if it's something where I did like a call to action or call out about things like that. Because people may not scroll, but they'll only come on to read stories and sort of see things like that.
So also, what do you do with, oh my gosh, I just got really loud in here. What do you do with if you see the same people consistently looking at your stories every day? Do you ever reach out to them and message them and say like, hey, I've noticed you've been watching my workout stories? Like, I guess like what's the point, I guess the end goal of the stories, right? Like,
was to get them to take action. So by like asking questions on it, using like GIFs, using the polls, using the little swipey guy things, to sort of like how interested would you be in trying out my workout? Like, how interested would you be in learning about something that would only take you 4 days a week? How interested would you be in learning about how to lose weight in a healthy way without being required to exercise? Like, how interested would you be? Like, the goal is to get them to take action. So then when they take action on it, then I'll message them and I'll be like, hey girl, thanks for the answer. On my poll, I'd love to talk to you more about our no exercise weight loss group. This and that. Because sometimes some people I think don't realize that you can see who watches your stories.
Yeah.
Because people will sort of creep and then you're like,
Yeah. Oh, that's weird that you're watching.
yes. I have a few of them who do it pretty consistently and it's a little strange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually don't just reach out.
Okay. All right.
I think it's creepy. It's like the weirdest kind of cold message. And I feel like of all the places on social media, Instagram is where you get the most noise of people trying to have super salesy messages. So I try to not.
Yeah.
If there's people that will always sort of comment back on my stories,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like if they'll comment on a story or whatever, or reply to it or whatever it is, if they consistently do it, then eventually at some point I'll send them a message. But just the people that continually watch over and over again,
Okay.
no, I don't think I would. Her feet look so good though. Yeah, I mean, I think that was it. I don't know the notes that I had. Did you have any? So. I don't know, but I think that was.
Okay.
I think that was it.